I can see kind of some Donovan Wilson in him. He play ball like Donovan Wilson. I say it like that.
The physical characteristics everybody's already hit on, but his play style to me is, that's what you're looking for as a coach. Donovan Wilson, that type of energy and impact, and we're really, really excited to have all these guys. But that, in the third round, we felt that was big.
Guys that can match up athletically with tight ends or receivers, as well as his energy and his tempo and the way that he plays football. One of the things that a coach used this in the draft from when we were talking, one of our better players who was recently resigned is Donovan Wilson, and he brings an attitude to the team that you can't really quantify in height, weight, speed, or anything like that. So
welcome to another edition of Boss Cowboy Sports with the Measure Koolaid Report, and today obviously we're dealing with the film breakdown of DeMarvion Overshown. And so Overshown is somebody that, if you listen closely, he's been getting comped to one of our better players and Pro Bowl player, Donovan Wilson. So are we crazy? Is it something that's made up? Is it something that makes sense? I would say absolutely yes, because it's not a coincidence that when you listen to day 2 of the NFL draft, where I was showcasing the Boss Cowboy guide and what my opinion was on Overshown and what I put in the book. Shout out and just quick plug to the book, Boss Cowboy Sports. I put in the Boss Cowboy guide that he was literally the most Dan Quinn-ish linebacker in this year's draft. So, cheap plug, but it's important to keep that in mind because he was easy to target as a Dan Quinn type, because Dan Quinn does have a type. So if we told you that Overshown could be the next Donovan Wilson, that's a major compliment. So when we go to the film and just look at the play styles, the first thing is look at Donovan Wilson up top. The first thing you see is Donovan Wilson lays out at the very top. Look at the very top where Donovan Wilson is basically playing a safety role on the kickoff team. And watch him. He runs through him. Boom! Set the tone and boom! Lays out it's the mentality that we looking at. So if you listen closely to what especially Mike McCarthy talked about, he talked about play style. Because some people go look at it and they go say, I don't see it. I don't see where a linebacker is similar to a safety. But no, it's not the safety style. It's the play style. It's the ferociousness. It's the hair on fire, pure hitter, pure killer. So if you're looking at Donovan Wilson and you just watching him play, it's his intensity. That's the main thing that you see, is what he always plays with, and that's the play style in which we talking about. Because again, there's no coincidence that on the very same day, Mike McCarthy, myself, Will McClay, all saying the exact same thing. So when you look at Overshown, you see that Donovan Wilson tenacity. It is easy to see where he has and he plays with a hair on fire mentality. I mean, just diving, a heat-seeking missile, seek and destroy, that type of player. It is no doubt that you getting a bona fide killer with Overshown. And I mean that. See, these type of tenacity guys, you can't teach this. You either have this or you don't. But everybody gets it. There is nobody that will not get it. He gets off blocks, diving, like he plays like Superman. Like my coach used to tell us back in the day, when you play like your hair is on fire. That is Overshown's style of play. That is also Donovan Wilson's style of play. So it's easy to see when you're looking at play style. You got to look at the intensity and the speed in which he plays. He doesn't slow down as contact is coming. He speeds up. He gets meaner and meaner the closer he gets to making a tackle. Just like Donovan Wilson. This is one of those Superman plays as well, where you can see the hair on fire style, beast the block, and Superman like, look, Superman dives. Say, listen. So we talking about play style, and all of us seeing the same thing at the same time. It's not by accident. It's not by accident where you can turn on the tape, look at Donovan Wilson, just look at him. Even when he try to throw the ball to the ref, he spiked the ball down because he just plays angry. He hits everybody angry. It's an angry playing style. And that's honestly what the Dallas Cowboys got with Overshown. So I can already kind of hear everybody, you know, where it's like, where is he going to fit and when is he going to play? Because we've all made a case that most of this draft was for the future. But in this case, we might actually see Overshown play in 2023. We got to just think it all the way through. And when you write a whole book, that's one thing that you will do when you go through every position group. You will look at it in detail, and it would open your eyes to some things. So first of all, if you look at the linebacker room, even though it's a lot of linebackers and they're young, most of them have something. So for instance, LVE, surgery to his neck. Clark, surgery to his neck. Then we had Harper, Achilles. Achilles back in the day used to be almost a death sentence to a career. That's not the case anymore. Now people come back from that. ACL with even Cox. So when you look at the room and you really look at the room, there's a chance. I know some people look at this draft as a mostly redshirt draft, but nah, we got to be ready because of the injuries that's already in the linebacker room. It wouldn't take that much for some bad luck to cause us to call upon the rookie. And this is the right one. Even if you look at potential big nickels, right? We've heard Marquise Bell name mentioned before. But does he have the frame for the big nickel? When Israel first started playing safety, one of the concerns and womp was his tackling. Now, he definitely increased year 2 where that's not a concern. But he could be viewed as not as ideal. Even Curse. So when you look at Curse, one thing about Curse, he's a fan favorite and he's earned it. He should be a fan favorite. But if you just really look at it close, he also had a shoulder separation. And I can tell you from having a shoulder separation, them things come back. They come back. So you got to really look very close when you're looking at Overshown. But this is the good thing. He could play and we might need him to play. And this type of intensity is actually exactly what the Dallas Cowboys could need. Where you see him, and I already showed the Superman dive, but there's no doubt at all that this guy has Donovan Wilson type of pedigree. And we talking about a guy that can take over a game if you just give him the opportunities. That's what you have with Overshown. So we go also kind of take a listen at some of the vision that could happen, and we go break this down like we always do over here at Boss Cowboy Sports. Here we go. Let's listen to 105.3 The Fan. We also have all the links in the description for every video that was played. So here we go. Just check it out.
The video, you guys were seeming very happy with the pick, and just talk about where you guys were and why you were so excited in that room.
Well, it was. We were just really, you have ideas about where you want to be and maybe what we need and that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, to have a player like that with the kind of grade and overall, we're talking about Paxton and I are talking. This guy was everybody in the scouting and Will and and certainly the coaches. But frankly, he was a blue chip player person to be there for us.
Blue chip player person to be there for us. So this is a pick that's growing on me even more. I liked it, but now that I'm really looking at him more and more and listening, I have no shame in saying that I actually like this more now than I did even on draft night. But listen as they kind of uncover the vision for him.
And certainly fits, and Coach will talk about that. Will, you want to say something? Please do.
No, just as we, when you talk about looking for a player, you talk about the linebacker position and what it takes to play linebacker in our defense. And in the NFL now, you got to cover running backs, you got to cover tight ends. You got to be able to blitz, and you've got to play all over the field. You play with two linebackers.
That's the vision for him. Somebody that can play all over the field. And see, this is also why I've been saying that, and I'm telling everybody, people go catch up about 2 years from now. I'm telling everybody that the tight end position has been caught up to. Most people ain't figured it out, but it has been. It's been definitely caught up to. If you really pay attention to it, it's because of NFL teams going after the Overshown type of players. That's why you need his type to cover the mismatches, so you can see them uncovering partially the vision that they have for using Overshown. Let's keep going.
Backers a lot now with the sub defenses, and so they got to do a number of different things, and then you also got to contribute on fourth down and love to play the game. You watch this dude play, you turn on the tape, it shows that he loves to play the game of football.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Cowboys. It looked like John Foster was also excited to have him around. Can he also, I'm assuming he can also contribute on special teams. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I love it when people ask questions they already know the answers to. Hell yeah, we're excited about them on special teams. I mean, just to reiterate what Jerry and Will said, I mean, this is an excellent pick for us. It's a great fit. Frankly, we were just kind of holding our breath to make sure he stayed up there. So, excellent pick. I think he's a great fit. The physical characteristics everybody's already hit on, but his play style, to me, is, that's what you're looking for as a coach. Donovan Wilson, that type of energy and impact, and we're really excited to have all these guys. But that in the third round, we felt that was big.
Yes, well, did that last year kind of help him a little bit? Because you had that COVID year, so he has a fifth year. How much would that last year help him?
There's so many of these kids that have to develop. The COVID year, as we know, kind of set a lot of guys back. There were seasons they didn't have, they weren't able to practice and all that. So getting that extra year in, you got to get those extra reps in. You're able to gain that, like he was able to gain that weight. You go from safety, and then you start moving down, and you mature a little bit. And so, and getting those extra snaps just gave us an opportunity to see all the different things he could do.
So as you can see, this is a very good pick for the Dallas Cowboys. They see him as a potential will linebacker. He can play some strong, definitely big nickel type. So I'm not going to get too heavy into what this could mean in terms of competition. We're going to look at that likely in the future video, because a lot of people starting to put people on the bubble. I think it's a little bit too early for bubbles, but we're going to talk about that even more. But this is something I'm telling you the Dallas Cowboys got extremely right. I mean extremely right. Even if you go listen to what I said on draft day 2, everything about this says perfect. So just listen to this real quick. This is what I said about Overshown, looking at the linebackers. They target him early to me. But in terms of the player, I like the player. And this is what I said. I don't have no stars by him though, but I said Overshown is one of the most Dan Quinn-ish linebackers in the 2023 draft class. I said he plays old school. Yeah, and he loves the game. It pops off on the tape. It pops off on the tape. You know what I mean? A 2-time second team All Big 12, and he has some production at UT. He's versatile, where you can see him playing some safety and linebacker. Very Dan Quinn-ish, man. Just keeping it real. It's just that it's kind of rich to me. Now he does have great instincts, and his motor is great. His motor is great, y'all. I'm just giving you the highs and the lows on what I saw in this player. But in terms of somebody that can actually rock. He could. I can see kind of some Donovan Wilson in him. He play ball like Donovan Wilson. I say it like that to give everybody kind of a mental picture of what you see in terms of the intensity of how he plays. He play with some real man intensity. So just giving y'all my analysis on Overshown, man. You know, did you have something on that? Yeah. So, like, when you got this many people saying the exact same thing, and listen, it was in my book that he's Dan Quinn-ish. I said when we picked him that he was Donovan Wilson. Like, literally said it the exact same name, the exact same person. I could have picked anybody on our team. I could have picked anybody in the league, but the person that has the play style, it was only one person I could think of that played with that hair on fire, tenacity, crazy mentality of a killer. I could only think of one. Donovan Wilson. And so that shows you that this is not an accident. That shows you that this is a marriage that's made in heaven. I can't wait to see how this is going to play out. Because all I want to do is ask, what if we got us a much bigger Donovan Wilson? Oh my God.